Propaganda. If you're an added follower of political discourse, you'll be very familiar with this word. It is a magical word that politicians pull out when they don't want to address a specific fact or if they want to label a discourse as not acceptable. But what is propaganda? Propaganda is a calculated method of communication that is designed to sway opinions, beliefs, or action. Propaganda has many forms. So when people talk about propaganda, it's not just one form. So in this video, I'm going to explain in a language that you can understand some common techniques of propaganda that you should watch out for, especially in this age of social media. So let's go. Number 1, outright falsehood. This, if you are a Nigerian, you'll be very familiar with this. Popular musician Fela Anikulapo called it government magic. When you outrightly lie to people, you call blue yellow. So something happens, you say the opposite. For example, when government says a snake swallowed missing public funds, that is government magic. Number 2, error by omission. This technique of propaganda is quite nuanced. So for outright falsehood, you say what is the opposite of the fact. For error by omission, you say a lot of what is true, but somehow you just forget to say some truth that is very important. So for instance, you announce a major announcement, or some people that have been kidnapped have been released, and you extol how the police force were able to rescue them. But somewhere in that announcement, you did not mention that those people pay ransom for them to be released. Error by omission. Number 3, error by addition. So this one is the exact opposite of error by omission. You say the truth to a large extent, but in one of the elements of that truth, you embellish it a bit so that you can whip up either positive or negative sentiment. So there was a story of a city that was air bombarded during the Second World War. The city is called Dresden in Germany, and the Allied forces, the US, UK, their air force bombarded that city for a long time, and according to the German records, over 25,000 citizens died. But when the Nazi propaganda specialist Joseph Goebbels wanted to put the story in the news, he felt 25,000 was a small number for an outrage, so he added 10 at the end, and that made it to 50,000. That story went around the world. There was a lot of outrage. In fact, the head of the UK bombardier unit, his name was Sir Arthur Harris, had to resign his position. It was just a 0. Error by addition. The 4th one is facts without context. So in this instance, you don't lie, you say the truth, but you don't give the entire picture around the truth, so people don't exactly know what led to the truth. So give an instance, you see a video online of a woman beating the husband, and you feel outraged. Why would this woman beat the husband? But perhaps if you've seen like 5 seconds before that particular clip, perhaps the man was trying to stab the woman and the woman was trying to protect herself. This happens a lot on social media space, where you see people cut clips of politicians when they make mistakes or they say something and they say, oh, this politician is incoherent or not intelligent. It is fact without context. Then the last one is forceful reinforcement. This technique of propaganda, you pick something that is not true, but you expose it to people over a long period of time, and it somehow begins to feel like it's true. So imagine some idea that you've heard some years ago and it sounded ridiculous. So somebody said President Buhari is a clone of Muhammadu from Sudan. The first time you hear it, it sounds very ridiculous, but over time when somebody begins to say it, and maybe President Buhari does 1 or 2 things that look strange, you might really want to believe that it is true. And you even see some people that truly defend this story as if they know it to be true, whereas it sounds a bit ridiculous. It is forceful reinforcement when you consistently say something that is wrong up to the point that somebody believes it. These are like the 5 major techniques of propaganda that you need to watch out for. I know there are more that you might want to share. Just mention them in the comment box and I will explore them in my next video. That's all.